This discussion about ranked starts off here, and it says never take any of those. This character is easy mode because I got them to God quickly, because you can do that with any character in this game with fundamentals alone. So basically, there's a lot of people in this game currently who are really good at the game, and then they try a new character and they get them to God in like 2 streams, and they're like, oh, this character's super easy. But here's what we love about Tekken. Tekken, you can take the skill from one game and apply it to the other, right? 7 to 8. But also you could do that for character to character. Now, some characters that transition will be easier than others. Like if you're trying to take Yoshi knowledge and apply it to Kazuya, good luck. That's what I've been doing. I've been playing, I put my Kazuya training on hold because I was trying to get Yoshimitsu to God rank before the season ends so I could get that little title. Probably not going to get that though. Hard stuck between Supreme and God. But the point is that you can, apply knowledge to other characters, right? More or less. More evidence of this is that for Kazuya, right? There was a streamer, someone in the chat knows the name, who played Kazuya and got him to Emperor. And she wasn't doing all of this super technical stuff that we normally see Kazuyas do. It was all just fundamentals, poking, and just outsmarting the opponent, right? So once you unlock that skill with Tekken, you can do that with every character. You just find a couple of tools, down forward 2, this move that knocks down, this move hell sweep, and then you just cook everyone. So that's what this first thing is saying. And it says also, regardless if they're brain dead or not, ranked is not a good test for that, in my opinion. And that's the thing, right? When you talk about ranked being a good test of skill, it's currently not the case, right? So one, we already noted that the developers are inflating the ranks. They said themselves that they are putting tools in the game, giving characters powerful moves so that you could defeat higher players. So when they're intentionally trying to decrease the skill gap in that way, then you can't use the ranking system to judge skill, because they admitted to trying to, manipulate that. But to continue with this conversation, that's not true. I did it on Kuma without my fundamentals. Now, this is something that you could talk about as well, where like some characters don't require fundamentals. Now, here's the thing. I think that certain characters shouldn't require fundamentals. Now, before you say, oh, that's a scrub take, here's my thing, right? Fundamentals, not every character is going to be fundamental. Some characters will be super fundamental, super technical. So other characters will be the grappler. Other characters will be the unga bunga. Different characters do offer different play styles, and yes, certain tools will still be there, but you may not need to rely on them that much. And that doesn't mean that the character's bad. That just means that the character's different. But big butt coming through, big juicy. Okay, my fault. Look. The point is that sometimes that not needing to use fundamentals is stretched way too far. And I think Tekken 8 does that, where like they stretch the not having to use fundamentals too far. I mean, we go back to what they said, a powerful move used to dominate the matchup, right? They're called God tools, right? You give a character a God move that has like tracking, plus frames, heat this, heat that, and that's all you need. You just spam that one move and eventually they get hit. It's a counter hit or it's a heat engager, and you do mix-ups, right? So many characters in this game follow that blueprint where you're literally just either spamming a counter hit or a launcher or a heat engager. That's pretty much it, But to continue, it says, doesn't negate the fact you can get any character to God with your eyes closed. So this is specifically Hayes talking to Landed D here. For those of you who don't know, both of these players are way better than you and I. I think Hayes is like one of the best Ravens on the planet. I don't know what Landed D is the best at, but he still is like a very, very good player regardless, right? So that's kind of like two pros talking about how they could do work with any character. And I totally agree, which is why I think it's so interesting when you have these pros or people who are around that skill level judging everyone else. Like, really, bro, it's like most players don't have the amount of time to sink into the game, and a lot of things is just time. Buff Guy once commented on one of my videos and was like, oh, it's not that the throws system is too hard, it's that the people don't want to sink 30 minutes, I think he said 20 minutes every day into practicing breaking throws. That's crazy. 20 minutes every day to learn how to break throws. So it's not really like a skill thing, it's more so a time thing, which in my opinion, for throws to be this much of a influence on the outcome of matches, you talk about Steve's ability to grab you and push you on the wall for a full combo. You talk about all the other type of combos that could come from throws. For throws to be locked behind a 20-minute labbing session per day time requirement for you to learn how to counter it, pretty absurd. But besides the fact, let's keep going. Tekken veterans, when they get good at a game, they put years into, oh my God, this is easy. And it's got a lot of likes, right? And it's true. Like, if we could look at how much time they played Tekken 8, they probably played Tekken 8 more than people played Tekken 8, 7, Tag 2, and 6 if they played all of those games. And that's the thing. When you have someone who puts that much time, not only into playing, but also actively trying to get better every day, they're going to have a wildly different perception of the game. And at times, our ideas do align. Like, if you talk to some people who's not that good at the game, they will still tell you that the game is super aggressive. But like the players who are really, really good at the game, this is why in Tekken 7, our ideas kind of differed, right? They said that Steve Fox was really good and he was tournament viable, but then when you look at Steve Fox's usage online, he was terrible. And that just shows the difference in skill. Like, when players have skill, they could turn a character into like a Fakaram counter pick. But then when a character doesn't have skill, when the player doesn't have skill, they turn it to the Moonsault Slayer. No skill, you're the Moonsault Slayer. Congratulations. Speed kicks. He responds and says, because the game no longer grades the difference between top 0.1% and top 0.01% and top 0.001%. The game gives the same rank to Ni and to 17-year-old who's been playing for years, ignoring the layers of difficulty and skill in between. The game does not show a difference between the Moonsault Slayer and literally Ni. I technically am one rank away from Ni, but we all know my skill is nowhere near him, right? So the game doesn't distinguish that difference. Now, what we're hoping is for the new God 8 system, the new 8 God ranks, that will allow for some distinction. Maybe I will still be Supreme and Tekken God. I don't know. Yoshimitsu's going to get nerfed. Maybe I'm carried. I'll be stuck in blue ranks. But the point is that, like, for everyone else who's not carried, they may be stuck at Supreme, but then you'll see Ni at God Infinite. You'll see speed kicks at like God 4. You will be able to see the layers there. But also, with this being the case, I feel like Tekken 7 wasn't no different. I feel like Tekken 7, a lot of scrubs, especially when you talk about pay-to-win DLC, were able to reach those top ranks. The same was true in Tekken 7 to a degree, but largely the blame was put on the way that they balanced the game. What he's saying there is true. The game doesn't distinguish. This person says, as someone who just hit God, and this is my first fighting game ever, I have to agree. The skill gap between me and a world-class player like King Ray Jr. is insane, and we are the same rank. Speedkick's response, it says, thing is, this type of gap between top competitors and top rank online players exist in every game, but Tekken's issue is that it stops offering checkpoints so early. He shows the top ranks breaks down, and you can see here it's 1.3, 0.5, 0.4, 0.4, 0.6, 0.069, 0.028. So you can see these are the top ranks, but how few are able to push up into that ranks. And once again, this is what we're hoping out of God 8. If God 8 doesn't live up to this, it's going to be a joke. But then when you look at Tekken 8, it doesn't allow for it to like really thin out. I get why they did it too, because here's the thing. They know that there's been people in prior Tekkens who's been stuck in green ranks forever. And Tekken 8 is the first time where they've gotten out, and they feel proud about that. And I'm not trying to take that accomplishment away. I'm just saying, like, that's what happened. Like, if you see who likes Tekken 8 and who doesn't, the people who are good at the game doesn't like it. The people who aren't good at the game, they love it because they're doing better than they ever have. The game is telling them that. What they've done to the ranking system was to make players who are not good at the game feel better because they play more. If you feel bad, you're going to quit. The fear is that, like, if you punish the player any way whatsoever, they quit. And fighting games can't allow that. That's why they try to inflate people and push people as much as possible. Like, I get 100% what they're doing, but they're doing the thing so much to where it's affecting the people who are here, who are playing.